What's up, everybody? Welcome to Buzzworthy TV. And I'm your girl, Lady T. And tonight we are talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, y'all know last week Bravo was on some BS and they gave us a rerun. Well, let me tell y'all, it was worth the wait. So let's get into it. So the episode starts off with Phaedra. She's dealing with the fact that Apollo has finally took his ass to jail. She's been staying in a hotel after Apollo was acting crazy, running around the house with a drill and threatening to tear down the house and all that. So her and the kids went to the hotel until he finally went to prison. And, her assistant and the boys, they come back home. And basically, she's trying to get settled and trying to get back some semblance of normalcy. So after that, we have Candy and Todd. Todd has been in LA working, and he meets Candy at the candy factory. And apparently they had been arguing while they were in LA because Candy says that her and Todd were not on the same page while she was in LA. But she wanted to start off on the right foot. So, when he gets there, she gives, she's like, give me a hug. And he sits down with her on the couch and he's like, go ahead and interview me. And she asks him, so, when the last time have you been grinding? He was like, I grind very well. And it was, when the last time we grind, I think you got some of my good grinding. And she was like, oh, that's been a while. And so they started talking about their sex life or lack thereof. Candy is feeling a type of way because, their sex life is drastically diminished, and she's telling him what happened to our sex life. And I'm going to tell you, Candy, what happened to your sex life. What happened to your sex life is that your man is not happy. You are fucking up your marriage. And we like to think of men being, hounds when it comes to sex, but in some ways men are kind of like us. When they not feeling us, they don't want to have sex. And he's just that type of guy. And I can respect that. Y'all not in sync right now. So it's not going to be the same as it was when y'all are in sync. And I think part of the reason why y'all not in sync is because your mother, for one, is ruining your marriage. And I need you to get your house in order and get your mama in check. Because like I'm telling you, and I will keep telling you in these reviews, if you don't put your mama in check, Todd is going to resent you. And then when he comes to resent you, you guys are going to have problems on top of problems. And then you ain't going to have no marriage. And I hate to see that happen because I do see the love that y'all have for one another. I really do. I mean, it's obvious. But a man can only take so much. And, kind of find out Mama Joyce is just one of the problems. Like, he tells her, he feels like she don't really compromise. He tell her, for instance, you talking about we ain't having sex like we used to. I told you when you come to bed with that, that ugly bonnet on, that I'm not turned on no more. And she was like, well, I came to bed with the bonnet on before we got married and it wasn't no issue. But here's the thing, honey. If that's not what's turning him on right now, take off the damn bonnet. It's just I think another problem is, don't get me wrong, Mama Joyce is a major problem. But I think another major problem is that Candy does not allow Todd to be the man, which happens a lot when the woman in a relationship makes the bulk of the money. Now, Todd is not broke by any means, but compared to her, she is definitely the breadwinner. And that could play a lot on a man's ego and the dynamic of your marriage if you don't know how to let a man be a man. And that's very necessary, especially when you're an independent woman, financially stable. So I'm going to need Candy to get it together. And it seems like she is going to get it together because she suggests to Todd that they go to marriage counseling. And he agrees. And it's funny because I do think they need counseling, because when they both asked each other would they marry each other all over again, they both hesitated. And I don't think it's because they don't love each other. I think it's just because it's a lot of underlying tension and resentment going on right now. And I just hope that when they start going to counseling that they can fix their issue, because I really don't want them to break up. So anyway, then we got Cynthia and Kenya and Claudia. They are at a wine tasting. And Cynthia takes it upon herself to open her damn mouth to these cackle birds, these hens, okay? And I'm just so not here for it. So they all get to the restaurant, and you know, Kenya, she always loves to gossip. So her first thing is, did you hear the tea about Apollo? They said he was on the run and all this and that. And here goes Cynthia. Well, that's not true. He was not on the run. Matter of fact, I got some tea. And you know, she goes on to tell Kenya and Claudia that Apollo showed Peter Pumpkin Eater some text messages apparently between Phaedra and some African prince. And of course, here go Kenya. What? And she had the nerve to call me a whore? And I'm like, bitch, sit down. This is the problem that I have with fucking Kenya. Kenya, you so quick to just automatically assume that Phaedra was messing around with this nigga. Because you feel like you've been dragged through the mud, so you grasping at straws to try to make this woman look bad. And my thing is this. Whatever's going on with Phaedra in that situation, y'all need to show some decency and let her deal with her issues. This is not fun and games. This is not reality TV. This is not a storyline that she cooking up for ratings or to be the most popular housewife. This is her life. And you can tell in each scene that Phaedra is this close to losing it. Not just with Kenya, but anybody. She is a ticking time bomb. And I don't like that they just nitpicking her situation like she's not going through shit. And they just sitting around here discussing her situation like this woman don't got feelings. And Kenya, I understand you have feelings too. I understand that, you know, your name has been dragged through the mud for 2 years. I understand that a lot of people distance themselves from you and believe that you tried to come on to Phaedra's man and you did not. And that was a stigma that you were forced to live with for 2 years. I get that. And that was some bullshit. But guess what? Take that shit up with Apollo. Apollo started that shit and he kept it going. So your anger should be towards him. Don't pick on a woman who's already down. It's like you kicking somebody while they down and that makes you a bully. And I can't stand bullies. So I'm sorry. But I don't think you will ever hear me say nothing nice about you ever again in life, because you're a freaking bully and I can't stand it. Like, it makes me sick. Like, there was no need for you to just be like, oh my God. And then here she goes again, making it all about her, trying to be the victim. You don't do that. You just don't call somebody a whore and you're sitting around here whoring around. And I'm like, when did this become all about you? Like, you sitting up here giving me these fucking crocodile tears, and this woman, life has been turned upside freaking down. And people might get in my comments and be like, well, she knew what Apollo was doing. She knew what she married. And that is all true. I agree with everything y'all might put in my comments about that. She probably did know. And if she didn't know what he was doing, she definitely knew who she was marrying. But guess what? At the end of the day, she got 2 kids by that man. And she married that man. So not only is she losing a husband, somebody like she said was supposed to be her helpmate, but she has to deal with being a single mother. And this is her life. Whether she knew what she was marrying or not, this is a fucked up situation. And I think they should be more delicate when they talk, when they talk about the situation, and definitely more sensitive. Like, I just wasn't here for that little hen party, and they can kill me with that, like, for real. Anyway, then Phaedra, like, this was the funniest part of the whole episode. Phaedra has called over the apostle and his wife to pray over the house and get rid of the demons and the bad spirits and all that. So they come over there and they got their holy oil and just going around the house just praying and stuff. And I'm like, really? Like, Phaedra had an exorcism. It's like Apollo is gone and she just want to have an exorcism. Like, she painting the house. They done put holy oil all around the house. And she just like, in a way, it's just like good riddance. And a part of me, like I said, I don't blame her. Yes, she knew who she was marrying, but I feel like she probably tried to help him and give him a heads up. I think she really did try to warn him. I could be wrong. But I think on top of that, too, outside of his legal troubles, he has really put her through the ringer by being disrespectful, all out in the strip clubs. And then let's not forget how we saw on camera last year how he was just blatantly rude and disrespectful. So I do think that outside of his legal troubles, that was just the straw that brought the camel's back. The way that he treated her was just uncalled for. So I think that's another reason why she's kind of like good riddance. She's had enough. Anyway, then after that, we get Cynthia and Petra. Peter Peeker, Pumpkin Eater. Petra, I just can't. I just can't. Because, she's cleaning out her closet or whatever. Here comes Peter. And, she tells Peter, like, hey, I told Kenya and Kenya and Claudia what Apollo told you and about the text and everything. And he was like, oh, how did they react? And she was like, well, it's a very sensitive subject because, it's a lot of hypocrisy going on. Everybody want to call people whores, but, you sitting around supposedly messing with an African prince. And, his whole thing is, yeah, like, y'all sit around here going off on each other and basically none of y'all have room to talk or whatever. And so Cynthia tells Peter that, hey, I'm going to have dinner with the ladies. Candy is, asking all of us to come to dinner and just talk or whatever. And he brought up a good point. He said, you keep going out to dinner, meeting up with these ladies, and all y'all do is going to bite each other's heads off. And Cynthia's like, well, I don't have a problem with anybody. And you know why you don't got a problem with anybody? Because Cynthia, you're a freaking instigator. Like, you shouldn't have opened up your damn mouth. I have not forgotten about how you opened your damn mouth and started this whole shit with Kenya being able to make herself out to be a victim, giving Kenya the ammo to throw that up in Phaedra's face. And you wrong for that shit. You really are. Anyway, so then we got Candy and Phaedra. Now, Candy has been going through her own thing. Y'all know A Mother's Love got canceled. The tour got canceled. Her and Todd are not in the best place. They about to start going to counseling. But, she knows Phaedra's been going through her thing too, so she is going over there. And basically, Phaedra is really trying to be strong, and the way she's trying to be strong is not really trying to talk about it. So at first, she avoids the whole issue with Apollo until Candy basically just asks her, look, what is going on? I read this and that. What really happened? And so Phaedra, tells her how Apollo showed up at the house when he was supposed to be heading to jail and everything. And, Candy is shocked. And, she feels bad that she's been out of the loop because she didn't know all that was going on. And, she tells Phaedra that, all the ladies are meeting up for dinner and she wants her to come. And, Candy also, kind of feels that there's some distance there. And it's funny because Phaedra tells Candy that, Nene's been calling her every day. And Candy looks kind of suspicious. And she's like, why are you looking like that? She was like, I'm just taking Nene's kindness, in baby steps. Like, you could tell that Candy and Nene, their relationship is like this. Do they get along? Absolutely. But Candy has seen so much that Nene has did, and, and her shade and the way she like to, call people out, and just how Nene could just blame just mean, okay? So she don't really trust her. Do they get along? Yeah, but she don't fully trust this whole new Nene that Phaedra says that she's seeing. But she don't got no problems with her, so she ain't like backing off. But she just saying, I'm just taking her kindness and baby steps, which she should, because Nene, I like Nene, but Nene ain't no angel. Like, she will talk about you and drag you for days. And, she quick to let you have it, and quick to just like throw you to the wolves too. So anyway, y'all, we get to the dinner. And let me tell you, first of all, everybody's there. When I mean everybody, I mean even we got Demetria, who we haven't seen a couple episodes, Portia, everybody's there. Nene, she's been back and forth between Atlanta and New York because she's getting ready to star on Broadway. She's there. Everybody's there. So, anyway, everybody sits down. Everybody at first is, it's all good. And here comes Cynthia again. Now, mind you, it's already difficult for Phaedra. She didn't really want to come to the dinner because, like she said, she already been dealing with so much and she didn't want to deal with no craziness. But she came anyway. And Cynthia takes it upon herself to say, well, Peter talked to Apollo, and, Phaedra's like, oh, he did. And she was like, yeah, but if we're not going to talk about it, then I don't know. Because I just feel like it was so much said. And this is my thing. Why couldn't you just let it go for right then? I'm not saying that if you want to call Phaedra her so-called hypocrisy about people calling people whores or whatever, is a time and a place to do it. I really wasn't necessarily mad about you wanted to get it all out, but that was not the time or the place. This is the first time you've seen her since her husband is locked up. And I know that y'all not the best of friends, but y'all had some type of camaraderie, and I would think you would respect that. I would think if you was in that situation, you would want people to treat you accordingly. You want people to be a little bit more sensitive to your situation. And I'm just really not feeling this. And so, Cynthia drags it on and on until she finally just says, yeah, Apollo told Peter that you were having an affair. And, Phaedra just flat out said, well, he's lying. And here come Kenya jumping in because stupid ass Cynthia has given Kenya the ammo. She was like, look, let's just put it all on the table. Apollo showed Peter the text messages, and while you're calling everybody else a whore, you're sitting around here having an affair. She was like, well, they're lies, just like those supposed texts that Apollo showed me about y'all two were lies, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point, Phaedra. Like, if we're supposed to, be embracing that Apollo is a liar, that he lied about you, why couldn't he could have most definitely lied about Phaedra to, she not been there for him and all this other stuff. So, of course, he'd do anything to damage her character. So, what's the difference? If he can lie about you, he can most definitely lie about somebody that he feel has let him down. Let's keep it real. But no, she just want to keep pushing that nail, just twisting that sword, and I don't like that. So she kept on going and talking about that Phaedra's having an affair with Chocolate. So Phaedra gets up, rightfully so, and was about to hit Kenya with her purse, and she should have. Because this is my thing with Kenya. Kenya, like I said earlier in the review, you always try to make yourself out to be the victim. And then when somebody lunges at you, you want to be like, yeah, get fired, or yeah, go to jail. Like, bitch, I'm tired of you provoking everybody and not thinking you're going to get your ass beat. One day, when the cameras are gone, they going to come for you. One of them. I don't know who it is, because you low-key, you slick with it. So it could be anybody, because you like to top people. And one day somebody's just going to pop up, and I give a fuck about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, give a fuck about going to jail, and beat your ass. And I can't wait for it, because you deserve it. I already was here when Portia drug your ass, and I wanted Phaedra to knock you the hell out with her purse. Because this is what I've noticed. I notice when people are down, you like to kick them when they down. Like, this ain't the first time. Like last year when you sat up there and taunted Portia, she was going through her divorce and her issues with Cordero, and you wanted to taunt her and talk shit. Now, same thing. You know, Phaedra going through her thing with Apollo, and you want to kick her while she down. And don't think somebody gonna lunge at you when they already on the edge. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, so, you know, Nene and Portia, they jump in the middle, and they decided that they gonna take Phaedra home. Candy walks behind them, and of course they outside talking, waiting on their car. And, you know, here come Portia, her confessional. I'm surprised Candy wasn't the first one to get up. And it's like, here we go. Now, people about to start instigating the friendship between Phaedra and Candy. And I don't like that either. Because they both going through issues, and last thing they need is people, you know, trying to instigate and make them not be as tight as they are. Because you already got people saying, oh, I'm surprised Candy didn't do this and this and this and that. And then next week, I saw in the previews, you know, people want to say, you know, Candy, you ain't been here. Y'all ain't been close. Well, they both going through something, and maybe they don't need nobody else putting their 2 cents into their friendship. Maybe they just need to sit down and talk woman to woman, and y'all just need to stay out of it, because they friends before and after this show. They real friends. So just like Nene wanted her situation with Cynthia between them, everybody need to stay out of Phaedra and Candy's friendship. And don't put on for reality TV to see, because I don't want this to become another Cynthia and Nene situation, because they are too grown and too good of friends for that. Anyway, y'all, that was the episode. Until next time, peace and love.